Hi, my name is Mor, and I'm going to spend the next 5 minutes telling you what we can learn from Twitter as a microcosmos of our society. Twitter is one of the popular social media services that we all have started to know in the last few years. So these networks like Facebook, Twitter, Flickr, Foursquare, and others allow hundreds of millions of participants to share lightweight content items like status messages, like links, like photos and videos in a highly connected social space. In fact, these systems are so new and different than what we've seen before that my colleague Jeff Bose and I dubbed them social awareness streams to note the fact that they have new characteristics. For example, they allow content sharing in passive form. They allow in a highly connected social space and in a stream, they consume in a stream format. So what we have here is content that's shared passively. No one specifically is addressed. Nobody is specifically guaranteed to see any one piece of content. So in that sense, it's different than email. It's different than a telephone and a post than anything we had before. And moreover, this content is available in a lot of those networks like Twitter for us to examine and look at scientifically. These networks are also interesting, or these systems are also interesting because they are built on social networks. The articulated list of contacts build huge social networks that we can study and reason about and look at. And here's an example of a Twitter screen. So this is the screen of the Twitter user Ayman, also known as @Ayman on Twitter. And you can see on the screen a list of posts that they have made or forwarded, retweeted from other users, as well as their list of followers and followees. So the people that follow Ayman and on the Twitter network and the people that Ayman follows on the Twitter network are listed on the top right. So one question that we can ask is, what can the network of Twitter, this articulated set of contacts, can tell us about the world? And in particular, what is the sociology that exists behind Twitter? How we can understand various phenomena using this network. And in particular, sociologists have been looking for a long time at the phenomena of tie creation and tie breaks. And we're going to look at the Twitter network for tie breaks and try to explain them and ask the question, what are the properties of the network that we can see that can help us predict ties that will break? Here's one example for one user. You see the user in the middle and all their ties. This is all the network, the people that they were following and following them. And those people marked in blue are people that stopped following our user in the middle after a period of 9 months. And our question again is whether there's a trend or structure that can help us predict who those people might be. Why would there be any trend or structure? Well, sociology already gave us some of the answers that might be in effect. One idea is the concept of tie strength that was brought forward by Granovetter in the 70s, and they talked about stronger and weaker ties that individuals may have, where strong ties are the ones that offer emotional support and intimacy, and weak ties are the ones that maybe not your close friend and family, but the ones that can help you get jobs or loans and stuff like that. So obviously, we can predict that stronger ties might lead to lower likelihood of breaking the tie. Embeddedness is a related idea, and embeddedness is the set of relationship that exists between you and a friend through third parties. In other words, common friends. So the number of common friends, the more common friends we have, the more our relationship is embedded, perhaps, and the less likely of our tie is to break. And finally, sociology has suggested that power and status also have something to do with breaking of ties. So for one example, if somebody is higher status, ties to that person are less likely to break over time. And indeed, when we went to the Twitter data, we found representations for all these different concepts and theories using the information that we can get from the network on Twitter. And in our study, I'm not going to go into the details here, we found that indeed all these theories are in play when we can examine tie breaks on Twitter over time. So Twitter can tell us something about our sociology. What else can Twitter tell us about the world? One thing that we've seen already is relationships. But we can also learn from Twitter about various other social dynamics. We can learn about language, people express themselves. We can learn about culture and society. We can learn about our interests and activities that people express daily and in huge volume over time. And we can also learn about perhaps of physical spaces and geographies. And to just give you a little example of the latter, here is a slide that shows you the differences in volume, Twitter volume alone, between New York City and Washington, D.C. So I'm not going to tell you which is which in a second. Let me just explain. So what you see for both cities is the volume of activity from 8 p.m. till 8 p.m. over 24 hours, averaged all over all the weekdays in our data set. So on the left, 8 p.m., and you see the activity in both cities kind of drops towards 6 a.m. where everybody's already gone to sleep and not a lot of people have woken up yet, and then rises again, and we finish at 8 p.m. And if you look at the two graphs, the one on the left is actually the New York City graph. And you see the New York City peak activity time is night, where Washington, D.C.'s peak activity is lunchtime, where everybody's out wheeling and dealing in our nation's capital. So what does it mean? We're not sure yet. There's still a lot of room to investigate and interpret this finding using Twitter data. This is just our initial attempt to look at what can be done. But I think it's starting to tell us that Twitter is a microcosmos that can tell us a lot of different things about our communities, about our relationships, about our society in general. Of course, for more details, you will need to read the papers that are available from my website.